Did Cat Wyatt really slept with her cousin? Let's find out, shall we? What happens when the voice that once brought healing to millions starts echoing with scandal? Keke Wyatt, the powerhouse vocalist known for her soul, her faith, and her family, is now at the center of one of the most jaw-dropping celebrity dramas of the decade. Behind the music, behind the polished interviews, there's a story that feels almost unbelievable. A web of betrayal, broken trust, and claims that cross lines no one ever expected. How did it go from platinum records to public disgrace? How did America's gospel sweetheart end up accused of doing the unthinkable with her own family? This isn't just another celebrity breakup or messy divorce. This is a story about power, obsession, and the lengths some people go to keep love or control, no matter the cost. And once her ex-husband stepped forward with shocking accusations, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. But before we dive into what really happened inside Keke Wyatt's house, and why people are calling it one of the most disturbing scandals in R&B history, let's rewind to where it all began. The rise of a woman the world thought they knew. Before the chaos and controversy, Keke Wyatt was seen as the kind of artist who could do no wrong. A voice so powerful, it could bring you to tears. And a personality that radiated sincerity. She wasn't just another R&B singer, she was the woman whose songs could fill a church and still top the charts. Born into a musical family, Wyatt grew up surrounded by gospel choirs and stage lights. By her teenage years, her talent was undeniable. When she released her breakout duet, My First Love with Avant, people knew she was special. Her voice carried that rare mix of strength and vulnerability, the kind that made fans feel like they knew her, like she was family. And for a while, that's exactly how she wanted it to be. Keke played the role of the devoted wife and mother, the Christian woman balancing fame and family in a world that constantly tries to destroy both. She smiled through interviews, thanked God for her blessings, and shared her growing family with the world. But behind the stage lights, something darker was brewing, because even during her rise to fame, whispers followed her. Whispers about explosive temper, chaos behind closed doors, and marriages that seemed to crumble as quickly as they began. Still, most people brushed it off. After all, in the world of celebrity gossip, rumors come and go every day. But with Keke, the stories never fully disappeared. They lingered, waiting for the moment everything would finally come crashing down. And that moment came sooner than anyone expected. Keke Wyatt's love life has always played out like a roller coaster. Fast, emotional, and headed for disaster. Her first marriage came early. She was just 18 when she said "I do" to her road manager, Ramont Morton. To the outside world, it looked like the perfect young love story. Two people chasing dreams together, but behind that image was a relationship filled with chaos, control, and confrontation. Things took a dark turn when reports surfaced that Keke had stabbed Ramont during a heated argument. She later said it was self-defense, and the public believed her. After all, Keke was seen as the fragile soul, the woman who loved too deeply and got hurt for it. But that moment planted a seed, a question that never really went away. Why did drama always seem to follow her? When that marriage ended, Keke didn't wait long to try again. In 2010, she married a minister named Michael Jamar Ford. On paper, it sounded like redemption, a woman of faith finding peace with a man of God. But if people were expecting calm, they got the complete opposite. The relationship became a battlefield. Michael later said he couldn't handle the toxic environment anymore. And when he filed for divorce, Keke was 8 months pregnant, caring for a child battling leukemia, and emotionally unraveling in front of millions on social media. She went live, crying, hurt, accusing her husband of abandoning her when she needed him the most. The public was divided, half sympathized, half questioned whether the problem wasn't just the men she married, but Keke herself. Still, none of that compared to what came next, because after 2 failed marriages, you'd think she'd slow down, maybe take time to heal, to reflect. But instead, she fell right back into love and straight into the storm that would change everything. Her next husband wouldn't just leave her, he'd expose her. By the time Keke married her 3rd husband, Zachariah Darring, fans were starting to notice a pattern. Another quick romance, another whirlwind wedding, and then another heartbreak waiting just around the corner. But no one could have predicted what came next. Because when their marriage fell apart, it didn't just end with a few bitter words or messy court papers. It exploded, publicly, painfully, and with allegations that shocked even her most loyal fans. Quick pause. If you're into the tea so far, like the video, subscribe, and drop a comment with your take, and share this with a friend who lives for celebrity drama. All right, back to the story. Zach didn't just leave quietly. He went on record, interviews, social media, podcasts, claiming Kiki had been allegedly sleeping with her own cousin. Not just any cousin, but a man named Larry Weathers, who was also married. According to Zach, just weeks after he moved out, Kiki moved Larry into the same house they once shared, the house where her kids lived. The internet lit up instantly. Was this true? Was Kiki really involved with her cousin while still legally married? Screenshots, pictures, and interviews began circulating, and Zach didn't stop there. He said the two had allegedly been seeing each other long before the breakup, and that they weren't even trying to hide it anymore. To make it worse, he claimed Kiki and Larry were planning to start a church together. That detail hit differently. A gospel singer accused of sleeping with her cousin and launching a church with him? It sounded unreal, almost like a bad movie plot. But for Zach, this wasn't entertainment. He said it was the truth, and he had receipts. According to him, this wasn't just infidelity, it was betrayal at every level. Emotional, spiritual, and family. And when those accusations went public, Kiki's image as the misunderstood emotional artist started to crumble. People didn't know what to believe, but they knew one thing. Something in Keke Wyatt's world was very, very wrong. And Zach wasn't done talking, because what he said next didn't just question her marriage, it questioned her as a mother. After their split, Zachariah Darring didn't fade quietly into the background. Instead, he began speaking out, and what he said turned an already messy divorce into a full-blown media firestorm. In interview after interview, Zach painted a picture of life with Kiki that sounded more like survival than marriage. He claimed she was controlling, unpredictable, and capable of switching from charm to chaos in seconds. And the most explosive part, he said he had proof that Kiki's so-called cousin wasn't just family, he was her lover. Zach told interviewers that just 3 weeks after he moved out, Larry Weathers, Kiki's cousin, was already living in the house, not visiting, living there. He said he had photos and messages showing the two acting like a couple, while Larry's own wife, Ebony Weathers, was still in the picture. According to Zach, the affair had been happening long before he left. He said Kiki would sneak around with Larry and then act like nothing was wrong, a performance so convincing that he started doubting his own sanity. And then came the twist that left even seasoned gossip hosts speechless. Zach claimed that Kiki and Larry weren't just romantically involved, they were allegedly planning to build a church together. For a gospel artist to be accused of adultery and incest is one thing, but to then say she wanted to preach alongside the man at the center of it all, it was too much for even her biggest supporters to defend. Zach described Kiki's behavior as maniacal, demonic, and verbally abusive. He said she manipulated everyone around her, that she couldn't be alone, that she needed constant attention, and that she'd do anything to keep someone under her roof. He even hinted that her household wasn't a safe place for the kids. According to him, she allowed certain people around her children who should have never been there, and one of her kids may have suffered the consequences. At this point, what started as a scandal between two exes was spiraling into something darker, something that went beyond infidelity and into questions of parenting, morality, and protection. And just when it felt like the story couldn't get any more disturbing, another voice stepped forward, her own son. Just when people thought they'd heard the worst, another bomb dropped. And this one didn't come from an ex. It came from inside her own family. Keke Wyatt's son, Raja, who the world once saw as a brave leukemia survivor, stepped into the spotlight with a story no one expected. In a short but gut-wrenching post, he revealed that the same mother who once prayed for his healing allegedly told him something that shattered him forever. According to Raja, Keke said his cancer was karma for being gay. He claimed she told him to his face that if she'd known he would turn out like this, she wouldn't have spent a dime on his treatment. She would have just let him die. Those words hit the internet like a tidal wave. People were horrified, not just because of the cruelty, but because it came from a woman who built her image on faith, love, and family. Suddenly, the story wasn't about infidelity anymore. It was about parenting, trauma, and the kind of emotional damage that never makes it to Instagram Live. Raja's claims lined up with things Zach had said earlier, that Keke could be cruel behind closed doors, that she'd humiliate people she was supposed to protect. He even hinted that one of her children had been touched inappropriately by someone close to her, and that Keke knew but stayed silent because she didn't want to be alone. For fans, it was devastating. They remembered the woman who sang about love and redemption, the one who thanked God for her children on stage. Now, they were wondering if that image had all been an act, And while the internet debated who to believe, one question kept echoing in the comments. If the people closest to her, her husband and her son, were both saying the same thing, could they both be lying? The story had officially crossed from gossip to tragedy. And Keke Wyatt could no longer stay silent. Because when a mother is accused of something that dark, the world demands an answer. When the allegations reached a fever pitch, Keke Wyatt finally broke her silence. She didn't go on another live. She didn't cry or lash out. Instead, she released a calm, carefully written statement. The kind that sounds measured but carries weight. She said she loved her son, that she loved all her children, and that the picture being painted of her was far from reality. She denied ever saying anything hateful, insisting there wasn't a homophobic bone in her body. And while she didn't address every rumor, the cousin, the abuse, the demonic accusations, she made one thing clear. Her family's pain wasn't up for public debate. She asked for privacy, prayers, and peace. But the internet doesn't do peace. Within hours, comment sections filled up again, some calling her brave for protecting her family, others calling her manipulative for playing the victim. Old interviews resurfaced. Clips of her laughing on reality shows were suddenly proof of something darker. Fans dissected every word she said, every gesture, every silence. Many people admitted they once admired Keke's strength, but now saw her in a completely different light. She needs help, one fan wrote. Others still defended her fiercely, saying the media twisted her pain and turned her family into entertainment. No matter which side people were on, everyone agreed on one thing. This was no longer just celebrity gossip. It had become a full-blown moral trial, one playing out in real time under millions of watching eyes. And yet, the story didn't stop there, because while the world argued about whether Keke was a villain or a victim, her next move suggested something else entirely, a woman determined to rewrite her own story, even if the world refused to forget. Even after her statement, the questions didn't fade, they multiplied. If Keke Wyatt was innocent, why weren't her ex-husbands or children defending her publicly? If she was guilty, how had she kept it hidden for so long? Rumors continued to swirl, some claiming she and her cousin Larry were allegedly still in contact. Others saying the relationship was over, but that he'd left his wife for her. A few blogs even suggested they were quietly working together again, possibly on music or something more spiritual. But the biggest mystery wasn't what she was doing now, it was how she was doing it. Because despite the chaos, Keke refused to disappear. She was still performing, still posting, still projecting confidence like nothing ever happened. That defiance confused people. Was it denial? Was it strength? Or was it just Keke being Keke? Unbothered by the noise, even when it came from her own family. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered about her reputation in the industry, that some producers had started backing away quietly, while others saw controversy as a kind of currency, because in today's world, scandal sells. And Keke Wyatt's name was hotter than ever, for all the wrong reasons. But no matter how many headlines or interviews tried to explain what really happened, one truth kept surfacing. Nobody outside her inner circle knows what's real. What started as accusations has now become legend, a cautionary tale about fame, faith, and the darkness that sometimes hides behind talent. And while the public keeps speculating about her next move, one thing's certain, Keke Wyatt isn't finished. She's been knocked down before. And every time she's found a way to sing her way back up, the only question now is, when the music fades, will anyone still be listening? It's easy to look at a story like Keke Wyatt's and see nothing but chaos, another celebrity meltdown in a world addicted to drama. But this situation goes deeper than a tabloid headline, because at its core, it's about the pressure of being perfect in public while falling apart in private. For years, Keke built her image on faith, family, and resilience. She wasn't just a singer. She was a symbol of survival. Fans saw her as the strong woman who kept pushing through heartbreak and loss. But now, that same image is being questioned. Was it strength or performance? This scandal forces people to confront an uncomfortable truth about fame. The more we idolize someone, the more we demand they stay flawless, even when they're breaking inside. And when they do slip, the fall isn't just personal. It's public, permanent, and merciless. There's also something haunting about how quickly the internet turned this into entertainment. Every tear, every accusation, every response became viral content. Dissected, memed, judged. Somewhere in the middle of all that noise are real people. Children, families, wounds that may never heal. Maybe that's why this story hits harder than most. Because it's not just about who Keke Wyatt slept with, or what her ex said. It's about how fragile a reputation can be, how a single accusation can erase decades of love songs and faith-based branding in seconds. And yet, it's also a reminder that behind every voice, no matter how angelic, there might be a story we're not ready to hear, a story that doesn't fit the image we fell in love with. At the end of the day, nobody outside Keke Wyatt's circle really knows what's true and what's exaggerated. Maybe she made terrible choices, maybe she's been misunderstood, or maybe the truth sits somewhere in the middle. Messy, complicated, and impossible to explain in a single headline. What's undeniable is that the woman once praised for her voice is now defined by her silence. Every time she posts, every time she smiles, people wonder what's really going on behind the camera. It's the price of public life. Once the world sees your cracks, they never stop looking for more. But here's the part most people forget. Behind the gossip, there's still a mother, a performer, a human being trying to rebuild her name in a world that only celebrates perfection. The question isn't whether Keke Wyatt fell, it's whether she can rise again when everyone's watching for her next mistake. Because scandals fade, but perception doesn't. And in an industry built on image, sometimes redemption isn't about what's true, it's about what people choose to believe. So, what do you believe? Was this the truth finally coming out? Or just another example of how far we'll go to tear down the people we once put on pedestals? Either way, one thing's for sure, the story of Keke Wyatt isn't over. It's just entering its next verse. If you're loving the tea so far, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more daily celebrity news and gossip. Drop a comment below. I want to know what you think about this drama. And don't forget to share this video with your friends who live for celebrity updates. We've got so much more coming up, so stay tuned.